Hello. Welcome to the Green View Talk podcast. Today, we will be discussing the article, Currencies on an Alternative Route to the Axis of Evil, Brazil between the CIPS system and the Geoeconomic Encirclement under Trump, written by me, Antonio Fernando Pinheiro Pedro, and my great friend, Rafael Possik. Brazil on the geoeconomic chessboard, an alternative currency route. The global scenario of the 21st century is marked by a silent but profound reconfiguration of financial power. At the heart of this transformation, Brazil emerges not as a mere spectator, but as a potential battlefield where two financial worldviews clash. On one side, the established system, centered on the dollar and aligned with SWIFT, the backbone of Western financial governance. On the other, an emerging and competitive infrastructure, the CIPS, cross-border interbank payment system, promoted by China. This dynamic is not a simple commercial clash. It represents a complex matter of financial and geopolitical engineering, where allegiance to one system or the other brings with it a set of technical implications. The rise of an alternative currency route, like CIPS, can be compared to a hydro thief, diverting financial flows to an underground path, out of the reach of traditional Western control radars. The technical issue, financial flows off the radar. The essence of the problem lies in traceability. SWIFT, in conjunction with FATF guidelines and OFAC sanctions, creates a robust supervision environment designed to combat money laundering, organized crime, and the financing of terrorism. Each transaction is recorded and analyzed, allowing authorities to detect and block illicit activities. However, by adopting CIPS, Brazil inserts itself into a new financial web. Transactions in yuan bypass the dollar-centric system, diluting the U.S.'s sanctioning power and weakening the control of the American Treasury. For the international community, this could transform Brazil into a facilitator jurisdiction for opaque transactions, raising serious concerns about the integrity of its financial system. The reaction scenario, the Trump doctrine, and the risk of containment. The narrative deepens when considering the possible reaction of the United States. Traditionally, Republican administrations tend to intensify global enforcement against financial crimes. In a potential Trump administration, the American geoeconomic apparatus could be reactivated at full strength. By aligning itself with an alternative system, Brazil risks becoming a target for aggressive measures. Among these measures are secondary sanctions, which would penalize companies and countries connected to CIPS. The Brazilian financial system could be subjected to rigorous audits, with the threat of preventive financial blockades. The use of Section 301 to investigate illegal Brazilian economic activities would not be an act of ideological retaliation, but a technical response to the perception that the country is moving outside the protocols of Western governance. The dilemma of the Brazilian financial system. In this context, major Brazilian banks face a dilemma. For decades, they have integrated with the SWIFT system, aligning their operations with international standards. The adoption of an alternative currency route poses a complex challenge of dual regulatory compliance, increasing costs, and creating risks of breaking international contracts and damaging their reputation. The fragmentation between the formal banking system and the new opaque financial routes could discredit the national currency and assets themselves. The technical narrative extends to fintechs. The operations of some of these companies, which operate outside the full scope of the central bank and benefit from state incentives, raise the issue of regulatory dumping. Inspired by centralized models, these structures could increase the legal vulnerability of the financial system, creating a haven for criminal organizations and money laundering. The lack of interoperability with Western systems facilitates anonymous transactions, shielding illicit operations from international audits. A new colonization? Submitting to a foreign regulatory infrastructure, in this case Chinese, raises questions about Brazil's autonomy. Integration into the Sino-centralized model is not just a monetary choice, but a structural and institutional decision. This could lead to a loss of autonomy in exchange rate management and technological dependence, converting the country into a peripheral terminal of an alternative economic political bloc. Ultimately, Brazil faces a strategic choice. It can try to be a bridge of balance between divergent systems, transparently and judiciously managing the entry of new financial technologies. Or it can become a target of containment, losing the trust of diplomatic partners and the stability of its own financial system. The question is not whether the rise of alternative systems is inevitable, but rather how Brazil, from a technical perspective, positions itself in the face of this unavoidable scenario. The decision involves the future of its financial sovereignty and its ability to act as a reliable player on the global stage. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like the video, share your opinion in the comments, and subscribe to our channel, as this greatly helps our information's reach, transmitting knowledge to all those who are willing to listen. We will see you soon in our next video.